In this video, we are going to do a side-by-side comparison of our Brown's gas machines. Now, all of these machines have the same output of 900 millilitres per minute. We have the G1, and then these are the V1 and V2 machines. Now, essentially, these two machines are identical. The insides of the machines are the same and the back of the machines is the same. The only thing that differs is the front panel, and I'll be going into the slight differences between them a bit later on, so you can see which one, if you're interested, might suit you better. So first thing to consider is the weight of the machines. So this machine is a little bit lighter than the other two. All of the machines have kind of a way to carry them. So on this machine, there's a ridge under here, and you can use that to pick the machine up. And the other machines have handles where you can basically pick it up from. But this machine is lighter, and it's not that this machine is significantly heavier, but its extra weight comes from the casing being a bit more robust. So this is a much lighter kind of casing. This would actually protect it from kind of knocks and things that might fall onto it if anything like that should happen. And some people might actually just like the design of these machines. But weight-wise, these are heavier machines, but they all have an ability to carry them with either handles or a kind of a ridge under here. So if we were to look at these machines from the top, we can see that the machine on the left, the G1, is a smaller machine in terms of its width and its length. It's more of a square shape, and the other two machines are a little bit larger, with the one on the far right having that extra little bit of length to it due to the way the screen is. So that might have a bearing on which one you prefer. So if you're looking for something that's going to be lighter and a little bit smaller, then the green machine on the left fits that purpose. So if we now have a look at the ability to monitor the water, you'll see in this green G1 machine, you've got this lovely big ability to monitor the water in this tank by looking at the meter that's on the front, and it's lit up very clean, very clear, very easy to see. By comparison, on this one, the meter indicator is on the side, much smaller, but you can obviously get an idea of the water in here. But this machine is not as easy to get an indicator of the water as it is in the green one. If we take a look at the back of the machine, on the green machine here, if you look at the power cable, which is here, it's permanently locked into the unit. So in comparison, one of the things I like about this machine is you have a detachable power supply, and you also have a physical on-off switch as well. So I like that about this particular machine. So if we now look at filling the tank up, so on this machine here, there is a cap which you take off, there is a plug which you would unscrew, which is one of these, and then on top of that you've got a filter that you can just see in there, which you would just hook out with your fingers, and then you would fill it up with water and then put the filter back in again. On this machine, this black part unscrews, and then you fill it up with water, but there's no filter that you need to take out, and there's no plug. So this is actually the seal as well. And this machine actually has a different kind of filtration device built into it. So you won't need to buy any filters for this one, but for the green one, there is an indicator on the machine that would tell you when you need to change the filter. And depending on how much you use the machine, that could be anywhere between 6 to 12 months. Filters generally cost between about £7 to £10, and they're not that expensive. If we have a quick look at the screen, this model has a few extra indicators which aren't on this machine. So you can probably see along the bottom here, you've got if the filter needs to be changed. If the device is not on a balanced surface, this will indicate. If the water's too full, you can overfill it, this will indicate. You've got your water purity on a kind of like a sliding scale, like a meter. So that's in the green at the moment. It tells you if the water's too low. It tells you if there's any problems with pressure building up or a pinch on the cannula. And then here, there's also overheating as well. So those are all the indicators there. On this device, it has here, it indicates TDS if there's a problem with water quality, but it just comes up and tells you that it doesn't have like a sliding scale. It will tell you if it's not on a balanced surface. It will tell you if the water's low, and it will indicate that it's working. So there's not as many built-in features into this device. Both machines have a night mode. So if I show you how that works, so on this machine, I can select my time. So I could put, there we go, say 90 minutes. I can press start. And so the machine will start, and then I can go to night mode here, and I can press it. And what will happen is in a moment, everything, including the blue light here, will switch off. There you go. So in night mode, it just means if you were using this during the night, there's nothing in terms of bright lights that might keep you awake. And if I want to switch that back off, I can just press it again. It will all come back. And I'm now going to stop it. There we go. So in a similar way, on this one, I can go to start. So it comes up with here, this is the power. And then you've got your timer. At the moment it's on 3 minutes, or sorry, 3 hours I should say. And then you can change that with the time button. So I can change it to a different time. I press start. And once it's started, you can then go to this button. And if you press that button, everything goes into night mode. So everything goes dark. And then you can switch it back on again and then switch it off when you're ready. So now coming into the adjustment of the power output. Now the green machine, this one here, once you've switched it on, all the outputs just run, and it depends on how you've plugged them in and set up as to how much comes through each cannula. Coming on to that in a moment, but on this machine you have a lovely feature where if I go to here, start, bring the numbers up. If I go to where it says gas, I can change it from 900 millilitres per minute output to 200, 300, 450, 700 and so on. And so you might be asking, why would someone want to be less than 900? Because 900 is the full power of this machine. One reason might be if you're using it at night. So if you're using a Brown's gas machine or a hydrogen machine overnight and you're using it for what could be 6, 7, 8 hours or longer, there is the potential to build up a lot of condensation in the cannula. Now, both of these machines have ways of minimizing that, but it can still be an issue nonetheless. When you turn the power down so that the output is 300 or less, you're going to get less condensation. So if you get too much condensation build-up during the night, you could end up breathing in water droplets into the nasal cannula, which can feel quite uncomfortable. So that's a really lovely feature of this machine, is the ability to lower the power setting to something which is a little bit better, particularly for long use and night use. All three of these machines have 3 outputs. So on the green machine, we can see here there are 2 outputs. One of them is for hydrogen and one is for oxygen. And then on the other side, we have another one which is just hydrogen. And so each of the outputs for hydrogen is 300 millilitres per minute, and the one which is for oxygen, which is the bottom one here, is for 300 millilitres per minute of oxygen. So on this machine, on the green one, you only get the full output if you attach all of those outputs into one cannula. This machine also has 3 outputs. It has 2 here for hydrogen, and at the back it has here 1 for the oxygen. And this machine, which is very similar, has 2 bottles here where you attach the outputs for the hydrogen, and the oxygen is the same, it comes out of the back there. So the question about this machine you might be asking is, why would I buy this machine over the green one? So the first thing that I like from earlier in the video was at the back of the machine you've got a detachable power cable, and you have an on-off button where you can physically switch it on and off. So for me that is actually a good selling point. Secondly, you can turn the power level down if you want to use it for long periods of time, like overnight, and still be getting Brown's gas in that ratio of 2:1, or 66% hydrogen and roughly 33% oxygen, which is the golden ratio. Another nice feature of this one is, whereas in this machine you have to fill up these little bottles with water, and they sit on the side, on this one you can just pull this out, and what you have is you have the water tanks in here, and you put the water in and then just slot it back in. And that's a really nice feature of this machine, is that it's easy just to pull it out, fill the tanks up, slot it back in, and you don't get as many tubes kind of going all around the machine to slot things in. And it kind of keeps it out the way as well, so it's less likely to get knocked. So some of the things with this on the side make it a little bit more likely to be damaged or knocked in some cases. And the other feature about this machine is it's primarily designed for inhalation of Brown's gas, and it comes with a quite unique cannula. So the cannula I've now plugged in, so the cannula has its nose piece just here, but essentially it's got an attachment for each of the outputs for hydrogen and an attachment for the oxygen, and it all combines into the nasal cannula. So it's really designed to be really simple. You just fill this machine with water, you select your power, you select your time, you press start, and then you basically breathe in the Brown's gas in that golden ratio. And so that's the simplicity of that machine. It's basically mainly designed for inhalation of hydrogen and oxygen as Brown's gas. If you wanted to make water with it, you can do so. It comes with a water stone, and the water stone comes with tubing which allows you to attach it to just a single output. So this machine would allow you to make hydrogen water with an output of just one of these, which would be 300 millilitres per minute of hydrogen. So this machine is not really allowing you to make Brown's gas water, which this machine would do. But this machine, as I said, it's got some great features in terms of it's a bit simpler to just plug in the cannula and just go. This is a lovely feature. The ability to change the power settings and the on-off switch and the detachable power cable are nice features with this device. So who might be more interested in this machine? So you can set it up to breathe in the Brown's gas at the full 900 millilitres per minute, and I've done that right here. So all I've done is I've taken some tubing which attaches into there. I've then taken some tubing from these two, and with the aid of an adapter, all of that is fed into this bottle, and then I've attached a cannula which would allow you then to breathe in the full output of that machine. So you can do exactly the same with this machine as you can with this other machine here. However, what this does allow you to do is simply to just detach the cannula, plug your water stone in, and then you could make Brown's gas water with the full output of this machine. You don't have the ability with any of the settings here to turn it down to a lower power setting. It's set to output at the full 900 millilitres per minute. However, you could, to some degree, play around with the output by just not attaching all of the outputs into the condenser, or the evaporator. So what you could do, for example, is if you just wanted to have 300 millilitres per minute of hydrogen with 300 millilitres of oxygen, just plug in these two into here and not use this one. So that would allow you to halve the amount of hydrogen, but you would then be getting a different ratio between the oxygen and the hydrogen. So it would be a 1-to-1 ratio, which is not the golden ratio that you would have if you used the complete full power on that machine. But it does allow you to some degree to have less output for nighttime use. The other thing you can do with this is you can have more than one person using it. So one person could be using this side and another person could use this side and breathe in hydrogen at the same time. This machine also comes with a free set of goggles where you could either attach the goggles and use the full output of the machine into the goggles, or you could be having 1-to-1 ratio of hydrogen and oxygen on this side and then plug the goggles into this side and be wearing them at the same time. So this machine is designed to be very versatile, that you can set it up in lots of different configurations to suit your needs. So there's no exact right or wrong that you always have to be at maximum output. If you want to use the goggles, you can do so. If you've got someone else that wants to use it at the same time, that's an option. But for a lot of people, regardless of which machine you use, most people are going to be, most of the time, breathing in the Brown's gas at the full output. But you might just want to have the option of this machine, or you might just feel that that one is the one for you. And having kind of gone through all the basics of those two machines, might be that you have a bit more clarity as to which one is the right one for you.